So today we're going to be talking about how we can find Krishna 24 hours in our life. Yes? That is what everybody expected. Correct? Yes. So I should tell you that I wrote a series of articles on this topic for Back to Godhead. So if you look on the Back to Godhead website, you'll find that there's 5 articles there. And also I'm working with another devotee to make a whole book on this. Many more meditations than we will discuss today will be in that book. We have about 300 meditations, and we have an artist who is making an illustration for each meditation, and looks like BBT Africa will publish. So the idea is then every day you can read one meditation and think about how you can find Krishna in your life. Is that all right? We have an extra chair here, so you don't have to be looking through the trees.
You can come here.
That's right. We have like 4 empty chairs here, and you can use any of the chairs. Okay, everybody can see and everybody can hear. All good. Do we have translation going on here also? Okay, this one must be Tamil, one must be Telugu, right? Yes? What are you doing? You are doing Tamil. And you are doing? You are both doing Tamil. No, that is not what is happening. Okay, you want to do 2? You want to do 2 or you want to do only 1? I'm thinking must be different language. Okay, as you like. So who is translating over here? You are translating over here. Yeah, not so well, no. I already know not so well. Better let him, if he's familiar with American English, you better... Some places I go, they want to translate from American English to Indian English. They say that. We need to translate your English into English. Recently, when my daughter was visiting India on the phone, you know, you can talk to Google, it will give you information, right? You say, okay, Google.
It's very funny.
Well, in America, it works no problem. So she came to India and it wasn't working. So she started speaking with Indian accent and immediately it was working. Okay, so we're going to start with chapter 14 of Krishna book. If you have phones, would you take your phone out and put it on vibrate, please? And if you don't know how to do that, please ask somebody next to you. How do I put my phone on vibrate? Everyone, please, take your phone out. Come on, take it out. Shh. Look at it and put it on vibrate, please. Whenever I say that, 2 minutes later, somebody's phone rings. And if you are expecting the Queen of England to call you, you should probably wait outside. Okay. Everyone's phone is on vibrate? They have a rule at the VIHE in Vrindavan. If your phone rings, you have to buy sweets for everybody. So in Krishna book, chapter 14, Srila Prabhupada says, the essence of Maya is only within the mind. Maya is nothing but ignorance of Krishna's personality. When one forgets Krishna's personality, that is the conditioned state of Maya. Therefore, one who is fixed on Krishna, both internally and externally, is not illusioned. So sometimes we think geographically, this material world is Maya, and when I move myself geographically to the spiritual world, I will not be in Maya. So you cannot do simultaneous. I'm seeing you're doing peace. This is not going to work at all. Do you know how to do simultaneous? No, she doesn't even understand what I'm saying. Do you know how to, you don't know how to do simultaneous? Yeah. He is doing peace. No, you are doing back there, peace, peace. You are not doing instantaneous. Do you know how to do? Please, you do. He's doing peace, peace. It will not work. Peace, peace, I have to keep stopping. Yeah. He is listening, then translating, listening, translating. Let him try. And you can correct him if he says something wrong. Okay. Let him be the main priest and you be the checker priest. Okay? Okay. You can do instantaneous. Very good. So we think geographically, we think the material world is Maya, spiritual world is not Maya. But actually, it is not like that. Maya is within our mind. Therefore we say, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshtu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundara Chincha Gunaswarupam. If you love Krishna, you see him everywhere. That is the only difference. So it's interesting, I did not know I was going to give this class today until yesterday, but I have been listening to Prabhupada's lectures on the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, Rasoham apsukantaya, I am the taste of water, I am the light of the sun and the moon. And Prabhupada is saying there that it is very, very easy to be Krishna conscious if we are remembering all these ways that Krishna is present in the material energy. So today I'm going to look at the 5 gross elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. I don't know if I will look at mind, intelligence, and ego. What time should I stop? Because we started. If I stop at 12 o'clock, that will be very interesting. Oh, okay. Which 12 o'clock will I stop at? Is everybody okay with this? Maybe a little early and we'll have time for questions. Okay, so we're not going to look at all of the steps in the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam where Krishna says, I am this, I am this, I am this. We're just going to look Bhumir Aparnalovayu Kamano Buddharevacha. We're just going to look at and actually just the 5. Okay? Bhumir Aparnalovayu Kam. We're just going to look at the 5 gross elements and how they can help us remember Krishna. All right? Are you ready for this journey? Yes? All right. It's very exciting. So what we're going to do, Earth means the planet, you know, the Earth planet. And also we're going to understand Earth as meaning dirt, soil. We can also say that Earth means any matter that is in a solid form. But we're not going to consider that today. Just the planet and dirt. I don't know if you can find room for this. Maybe this way. There we go. Okay. So we're going to look at the qualities of Earth and then how that qualities reminds us of Krishna. So the first quality, now I should tell you how I started on this journey. I started on this journey in London when my godsister took me swimming in a swimming pool. And as I was swimming, I was chanting. And I was thinking the water is very soft, but also very strong. And I thought, oh, Krishna is very soft and he is very strong. So that started me on this journey. So Earth is very solid, very dependable. Every day we're walking on the Earth and we don't consider, will the Earth hold me up or will it not hold me up? Other things we may consider. You know, the business I am working for, maybe it will fail. Maybe my parents will pass away. So many things are not dependable. But the Earth, we feel, Earth is there. So whenever we are stepping on the Earth, we can remember that Krishna is the most dependable. Every step we take, just like I am depending on the Earth, it is going to hold me up, it is going to keep me from floating into outer space. So Krishna also, he is going to carry me Yogakshema Vahamyaham. He's going to carry me and he's going to keep me from flowing away. Then another quality of the earth that Krishna specifically mentions in the Bhagavad Gita is the fragrance of the earth. That earth has some smell. So this is very interesting because this marigold flower is growing from the earth and it has one smell. And these flowers are growing from the earth. They have different smell. They are growing from same earth. So all these smells, they are coming from the earth. And Krishna specifically says, I am that fragrance. Now, of course, Krishna in his original form, he has very wonderful fragrance, musk, guru, different scents, camphor mixed together. But all the fragrances coming from the earth are actually Krishna. Then we could say, well, what about the bad smells coming from the earth? Right? How is that Krishna? When there's sewage with the earth and rotting things. But what is very amazing is that those things also produce new life. Yes? If you want to have a very fertile field, you will put manure on the field. Yes? And the rotting things, they make for the new life. So actually, if you want to plant fragrant flowers, you think about this for a minute. So if you want to plant roses, gardenias, frangipanis, and you put in the earth stool that smells so bad, and from the earth will grow gardenia. Somehow, Krishna is taking this bad smelling thing, and from it, he is making good smelling thing. And when we notice that, just like next to the temple, there's some area, actually, Sumitra Krishna, you should do something about this because of the mosquitoes. But next to the temple, there's an area where it's very wet. And people throw garbage. It smells very bad. But if you look in there, that land does not belong to the temple, so it's a problem. But anybody look in there and see what is growing? Anybody has looked? No? Lotuses are growing. And they are growing spontaneously. Nobody planted them. So you walk past this very bad smell. And then there's the lotuses. So even with the bad smell, we can remember that even for my bad qualities, even for my problems, even for my struggles, Krishna can bring out something beautiful. Even the great difficulties in life, that just, this is bad, should go away. And there is lotuses. So Krishna can bring out beautiful fragrance, rose fragrance, gardenia fragrance, and not only fragrance, but the beauty also, even from polluted place. Then the earth also has a lot of power, right? If the earth moves just a little bit, earthquake, whole city can be finished immediately. If I just shake, nothing happens. But earth shakes a little bit like that, immediately. Whole city finished. So there's so much power in the earth. And when we remember the power of the earth, we remember Krishna. He just blinks his eyes, moves his eyebrows. Again, everything can be finished immediately. And then the earth is sustaining us. We call Mother Earth. She is giving us everything. The earth is giving us our food, our water, the building materials for our home, our clothing, our medicines. You need something? No? Everything. And Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita that he is the mother, We always say God is the father. But Krishna says in the Gita, he says, I am the mother, the father, and the grandfather. So Krishna is also the most affectionate mother, and he is really giving everything. We think the earth is giving, but ultimately it's Krishna. So when we see the things growing from the earth, the mud we are using for our bricks, right? The stone we are using for our house, the trees we are using for our house, the food, the herbs, all of these things, the cloth, the cotton, or even the animals grazing on the earth, the sheep, the goats that are giving us our wool. And then we can think, earth is mother, but ultimately Krishna is also mother. Krishna is really supplying everything that I need. I am not getting simply by my hard work and my paycheck and going to the vegetable market or to the cloth shop. Actually, it is coming only from Krishna. Then the earth is the origin and the resting place of all living beings. So in the Bible it says we have come from dust, again we return to dust. Yes, and if you think about it, just like my fingers, so yesterday my finger was rice and sabji. Yes? Isn't it? Yesterday I ate some rice, I ate some sabji, it became a finger. Yes? You do this also, yeah? You eat rice and sabji and it becomes fingers and hair. Yes? You all do this? You do this or not? Yes? Okay. So our body is coming from the earth. The earth is transforming into what we are eating and the air and becoming our body. And then when we leave the body is burned and again goes back to the earth. So when we see somebody is growing, we see our children are growing, we see that we go to a funeral, somebody is dying, we see that someone is coming from the earth, their body going back to the earth. We can meditate on how Krishna says he is the beginning, the middle, and the end of all things. Then if you ever work with the earth, anyone here ever planted anything? Have you ever planted anything? So it's very satisfying. For many, many years, I had a garden. I used to grow my own vegetables. I had fruit trees, not the kind of trees that grow in India, like peaches and apricots. But anyway, I had fruit trees, and I also had vegetables. What did I grow? I grew cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, carrots, tomatoes, eggplant. You call eggplant what? What do you call in Tamil? Brinjal, you call also. Kattarikai? Kattarikai. I love the southern languages. They all sound like music. You just say brinjal and say kattarikai. And your letters go like this too. And when you speak kattarikai, it's very nice. I think the most beautiful languages in the world are from South India. And I've heard many, many languages. It always sounds to me like music. Makes me think about how in the spiritual world they say every step is like dancing and every word is like song. So how can the words be like song? You come south and then you understand little bits at least. Anyway, so I was growing all these things and it was very peaceful. It was very peaceful. If there was some difficulty in life, sometimes there's difficulty in life, I would just go to my garden. And if I was angry, I would pull the weeds. And I felt very peaceful and I would feel very satisfied. I'd feel renewed just by working with the dirt. So Krishna is also like that. Whenever we work with the earth and we get that feeling, in America we talk about being grounded. Like electrical plugs, you have grounded. So psychologically we say to become grounded. Literally, that you are actually like stable. So Krishna is like that. If there's some disturbance in life, I just sit down, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And then immediately you feel peaceful. Immediately you feel, what is all these problems? It's just some temporary thing. And you become grounded, right? You become centered. We talk about being balanced, feeling grounded, feeling centered. And just even walking on the earth, like if you walk without shoes on the earth. Yes? You feel this, I am connected. And Krishna is really like that. Whenever we are walking on the dirt, on the sand. Sometimes you may go to the ocean, yeah? And you're walking on the sand. And how you just feel, again, so, we use this word, grounded. I feel grounded, I feel centered, I feel balanced. And then we can immediately remember, Krishna is the most centering. He is the most grounding. He is the most balancing. That as soon as we connect with him through chanting, through reading, through studying, through seva, immediately we feel, yes, this is my eternal place. And of course, the earth provides shelter. All of our buildings, all of our shelters, they all come either directly from the earth, like bricks or stone, or they come from something that grows from the earth, like trees or bamboo, or something that is mined from the earth, like metal. And of course, Krishna is the shelter. Ashraya. Krishna is our ultimate shelter. So as soon as we walk into our home, you know, we are out working or shopping or going here and there, and then we come home. Home. Immediately we can remember, Krishna is my shelter. Krishna is my home. Or even it is very hot outside and you can come out of the heat, right? Or it's a little chilly and you can come out of the breeze and you have shelter. Or there are mosquitoes, you can come in, you have the mosquito nets in I have shelter. As soon as we feel some shelter, immediately with something made of earth, then we think, the earth is shelter, but Krishna is ultimate shelter. My building may collapse, whatever, but Krishna is always there. Then the earth, the soil, the rock, the trees, they all allow for artistic expression. All of the paints, all of the paint colors, they come from the earth, from the different minerals in the earth. Yes, and if you're going to make a sculpture, you make it out of stone, or you make it out of clay. Yes, we take and we can make so many things for artistic expression. Am I speaking too slowly? One problem when I speak very slowly is you will feel sleepy. This is the problem. But if I talk like an American, none of you will understand me, and then you'll just say, what is she talking about? Because she's talking much too fast. So I have to talk slowly. I am talking like maybe 1/4 my normal speed. But it means people will be like, this is normal for you. No, you do not speak Tamil like this slowly. No, I don't think. Not your own language. No. But that's the problem. My apology. I have to trade. Either some people will feel sleepy or nobody will understand anything. And so I choose some people will feel sleepy. So please excuse me. So in the same way, Krishna is the source of all of our creative energy. Just like the earth is giving us all the materials for creative, well, that's what you can do. You pour water on your face, huh? I could stand up, maybe. So also, Krishna is giving us the intelligence. Krishna is giving us the creative understanding. All that impetus is coming from Krishna, just like the earth is giving us the clay and the wood and the colors and everything else. And whenever you see anyone doing anything artistic with the elements of the earth, immediately you can remember all our ability to be artistic and creative is coming from Krishna. Then the earth planet is the biggest object that we are intimately aware with. You could say the sun, but the sun looks to me like it is only this big. I know it is not this big, but I am not experiencing the sun as big. What I am experiencing as big is the earth as an object. And this can remind us Krishna is the biggest, right? He is the greatest. Then, of course, the earth has gravity. That is why we are not floating in the room. Yeah, we are stuck. It is pulling us. If we want to get out of gravity, we have to make some effort. Any of you who have children, you remember when children learn how to jump? when they're like 2 years old, you remember? If you're a parent, so first, you know, they're like, it takes a while, right? It takes them a while before they can figure out, how do I jump? Huh? So this gravity, actually, Prabhupada says it is sankarshana. It is not just the scientists actually do not understand gravity very well. When we are little children, they say, oh, it's very simple, it's just mass and attract, but actually they don't understand it very well if you study on a higher level. Because Krishna means all attractive. And it is because Krishna is within the planet that we are all attracted, that we cannot just float away. So you can remember this anytime, like right now, you feel how gravity is pulling you to the floor or your seat. Can you feel that? We are being pulled down. And you can remember at any time, Krishna is the attractive one. Then the earth, of course, is our sense of homeland. And most people, they are very attached to their homeland. Yeah? It's very interesting. I travel all over the world, many different airlines, only on the Indian Airlines, and not just Air India, Indigo also. At the end of their announcements, they say Jai Hind. And I'm thinking, Swiss Airlines, they do not say, oh, glories to Switzerland or something. Nobody else says, only it's something with the Indian Airlines. But everybody, they love their homeland. Oh, India, Switzerland, Argentina, whatever it is, people love their homeland so much. We have an expression in America, if you really want something, you say, I will give my right arm for this thing. That is expression. But people actually give their right arm for their homeland. They actually go to war and they are fighting, and for their homeland they are losing their right arm. Isn't it? How much love people have. And what is this homeland? It is some artificial line between this piece of dirt and that piece of dirt. On this side of the piece of dirt, it is India. On this side of the piece of dirt, it is Nepal. Same dirt. Right? But then we are giving our right arm for the dirt on this side. And this has been going on for millions and millions of years. So whenever we experience that people have, you know, attachment to their country, what do you call it? Desh prem? Yeah. Right? When you have love, what? Desh bhakti, they call it. So, prem bhakti. Same, yeah, Desh Bhakti. Hare Krishna. So, whenever you experience this, sometimes you may experience in yourself also. You know, it was very funny. So Tarni Radha was reading a little of my biography that I was born in New York City, but I joined ISKCON in Chicago, not in New York. So recently somebody was introducing me, and they said, here is Urmila, she was born in Chicago. And I became upset. Like, no, I was not born in Chicago. I was born in New York. So not only the country, the place also. Yes? It surprised me. I was surprised, actually, that I felt offended. No, I am not born in Chicago. So whenever we experience this attachment to the homeland, we can remember that this attachment is for Krishna. If a little piece of dirt on this one planet is so attractive that we are thinking, I will die for it. I will lose my arms, I will lose my eyes, everything for my piece of dirt. So why not do that for Krishna? He is worthy. He is actually worthy. Our country may not be worthy to give up our arm for it. But anytime you hear people speaking like this, think this is actually for Krishna, this kind of devotion. So I wanted to look for each of the 5 main elements at one of these 6 opulences of Krishna. So Krishna is called Bhagavan because he has 6 opulences. You are familiar? So one of them is Aishvarya. Aishvarya can mean wealth. It also is related to the word Ishwara, so power and control. So the earth can remind us of Krishna's opulence of Aishvarya. First of all, Aishvarya has a lot to do with rulership and power. And of course, the earth and its kingdoms and its nations are very connected with that power. But also, the vast majority of our wealth comes from the earth. Of course, there are jewels that are mined in the earth, yes? And then there's metals, gold and silver, land for agriculture. What? We'll get you water. Right now, we're just looking at land. There's overlapping, but I was thinking land is most associated with wealth. The earth. You own some land, you own your homes. We get, of course, oil, natural gas from the earth, which is our source of wealth. Stones like marble. Also, if you even think our credit cards, if you have credit cards, debit cards, they're made out of plastic, and plastic is coming from the oil, yeah? It's coming from petroleum. So even when next time you use your plastic or your paper money, it is coming from the trees. And you think Krishna, actually, he is the source of the real wealth. We're thinking the earth is giving me wealth in all of these forms. Then also earth can remind us of Krishna's transcendental abode. So of course, the earth in this world, it is not conscious of itself. It is matter, but in Krishna's abode, Chintamani Prakrasadmashu, the Krishna's abode, it is conscious, it is living. Each of the grains of sand in Krishna's abode, it's fully alive. And it's made out of wish-fulfilling gems. So as you walk in Krishna's abode, whatever you desire, you get. Now in this world, that would be a little dangerous. If everybody, whatever they desired, immediately they got. But for those who are pure, all their desires are simply beautiful. They never have harmful desires. And also Krishna's abode is very soft. Sometimes in this world, the ground is hard. There are rocks, there are thorns, it is too hot. But in Krishna's abode, it is always soft. So when we are walking on the ground, we can remember the ground in Krishna's abode. I wanted to ask all of you now, can you think of some of Krishna's leelas that have to do with the earth planet or with dirt? Krishna eating dirt. And Mother Yasoda looked in his mouth and then she saw the whole planet earth. He said, you want to see, is there dirt? And there was lots of dirt, the whole planet. Huh? Govardhan. Yes. Govardhan. And Govardhan is also interesting because that is Krishna made of earth, made of rocks, out of Brahma's nose, little. And Brahma's like, what is this? And then he becomes so big and lifts the earth. Any others? Huh? Oh, Rama walking in the forest. What, Baba? Oh, and he had the earth on his tusks, yes. Lord Chaitanya also sitting, what? Pots. Oh, he sat on the dirty pots. He also ate dirt. He also ate dirt. Yes, and Ram's walking in the forest, also Krishna walking on the ground, leaving his footprints, yeah? And then, of course, we worship the deity. Deity is made of metal, stone. So Krishna as earth, actually. All of Govardhan, he becomes earth, Krishna as earth. Do any of you have any thoughts? Oh, Krishna's flute made from bamboo.
Tolerance, we can add it in this quality. Tolerance.
Tolerance. That the earth is very tolerant. Most tolerant. And Krishna is also the most tolerant. Krishna is staying in our heart no matter what species we become. You become a scorpion, he's still in the heart. You know? Any other thoughts about earth? Oh, okay. The earth is very harm our determination, but let's think Krishna. Krishna's determination cannot be broken. And what is Krishna's determination? To serve his devotee, to help all the living entities. Very nice. Any other thing about earth that can remind you of Krishna?
Earth is round, it's beautiful.
Now they are debating this. But yeah, earth is round and like?
Bluish. You see from the space.
Oh, in the space it looks bluish color, like Krishna. Very nice. Any other thoughts?
All the planets you see from far, nice painted. All the continents are painted nicely.
Oh, that Krishna is such an artist. The artistry of the earth. Oh, very nice. So she said some places earth is soft, some places it is hard. This is like Krishna is soft like a rose and hard like a thunderbolt. Yes, very nice. Okay, we're going to go on to water. As I said, this is how I began my meditation, my journey with doing this. I really suggest that you not only use these ideas I'm giving you, but as you go through your own days, that you also think of new things, that come to you. It's simply a question of making some effort. Yes, this is sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means you are making an effort. If we are thinking, I am going to wake up one day and immediately be Krishna conscious without effort, very good luck to you. But generally speaking, we have to make some effort. Eventually, it will all come automatically. So when you're going through your day, if you notice the things of the world and any way they can remind you of Krishna. So now we're going to water. So water is very soft. Very soft, you move it very easily. And Krishna is also very soft. It's explained by Rupa Goswami that if just some leaf touches him, if you want to change the color of my skin, you have to push pretty hard. And then it gets from this sort of apricot-y color to kind of lighter. Yeah? You try it, push on your skin. See how hard you have to push to make it change color. Especially you who are falling asleep over there because I am speaking so slowly. Yes, you. Try. Try pushing on your skin and seeing. You have to push very hard, yeah?
Depends on the place.
Depends on the place, okay. But Krishna, he's walking in the forest and just some little leaf touches an immediately different color. So he is so soft. And when we are dealing with water, we just touch it, it moves. We can remember how Krishna is very soft. Well, as I said, water is also very powerful. Each of these elements is very powerful. So water is also very powerful. One big wave again can destroy a whole city. Just happened again in Indonesia, yeah? Just big wave, immediately, finished. So Krishna, he is soft, he is young, right? He doesn't look above 16, very delicate. You see the paintings of Krishna and you don't see any big muscles, right? I have one grandson, he likes to work out at the gym and he's, but you don't see Krishna like this. He looks very delicate, but he can immediately destroy universe, just like finish. And he was killing Kamsa like that, right? He was looking in the wrestling arena and the people were disturbed. They're thinking, oh, what is this delicate little boy that he's in the wrestling arena? This is not fair. The big wrestlers, little delicate boys. But he just finished them like anything, immediately. Huh? So whenever we are dealing with the power of water, so soft, so delicate, but immediately, we can remember Krishna. And of course, water is essential for our health. Without good, clean water, we cannot be healthy. Our drinking, our cooking, so many things. And we can immediately remember that Krishna is most essential for our health. Yes? Talking about water made me thirsty. So many people, they do so many things for their health, good things, exercise and eating right and trying to think pleasant thoughts and so many things. But if you don't have Krishna, ultimately, what is the use of all this health? And without Krishna, one is not going to be truly healthy. Because without Krishna, we will have some Rajagun, Tamagun, for sure. And that is really what causes so many of the anxieties and diseases in this world. And then water is essential for cleanliness. Right? To clean the house, to clean our clothes, to clean our body, to wash our food. And in the same way, Krishna is ultimately what makes us clean. So whenever we are taking bath, whenever we are seeing somebody washing the clothes or washing the plates, washing the food, immediately we can think, oh, it is our touch with Krishna, it is bathing with Krishna that actually cleans me of all the things that are harmful and ugly in life. Then water is very refreshing, yeah? Yeah, so this here in Chennai, generally it's hot. Of course, maybe now you all think it's cold, I don't know. But generally, for people like me, this is like perfect. But generally it's hot, and so the water is very refreshing. Yes, you put some water on your face, or you take bath, you drink some water, and you feel again rejuvenated. So in the same way, Krishna is also refreshing and rejuvenating. Whenever we are in touch with the Shastra, with the holy name, with the deity, with prasadam, we feel again that we are refreshed and come back to our real life. And the water is very graceful. When you think of like a little creek or a brook, stream, small river, you know what I mean? Creek, stream, brook, and it's flowing over the rocks. It's so graceful. And the waterfall, some people even in their home, they keep a little artificial fountain or waterfall. And generally if you go like public parks, they may have fountain, waterfall. And definitely if you go where there is wealthy people, where there is rich people, for sure they will have some water. Huh? No question, they will have some fountain, some waterfall, something with water. Even in America, in the desert, one time our family was driving across America and we drove through Las Vegas. They call it Sin City. But we drove through, we were looking for this one deity of Lord Brahma, which we saw there. Interesting. The people from Thailand, they installed a deity of Lord Brahma because they said he brings good luck to the gamblers. But anyway, so we were driving through this city, and this is in the desert. Las Vegas is in desert. Huh? Gamblers. Thank you for asking. Yes, thank you for asking. So they're in the desert because they are trying to get people to gamble, you know. And you are going to gamble more if you think you are very rich. You understand? If you think, yes, I am very, very rich, then you will gamble a lot. So they try to make people think they are rich, and one way they do this is with water. So they have waterfalls and fountains. They are wasting so much water here in the desert. But whenever we see people using water for its beauty and its grace, we can immediately remember how graceful is Krishna, how he moves very gracefully. Everything about him and his devotees is full of grace. Then water is not only refreshing, it is also soothing. That's very interesting about water. It wakes us up and refreshes us, and it also relaxes us. Yes? So if you've had some stress and you just take bath and take shower in warm water, or you just are lying in some water, immediately you feel so relaxed. Huh? Sometimes you just like practically fall asleep. So Krishna is not only refreshing, but he's also soothing. He also gives us peace. And whenever we feel that soothing quality of water, we can also remember Krishna. Then water will wear down stone, even little drips. Little bit of water. So it looks like stone is more powerful than water. Looks like. You would think, oh, the stone is there, the water has to go around the stone. But in time, the water will make the stone go away. It will make a path in the stone. And whenever we see this, whenever we see stone that is being worn down by water, then we can remember that Krishna can wear down even our stone heart, even the biggest difficulties, even the things in our life that we feel, this is impossible. Impossible. Nobody can fix this. It's like a solid mountain. We should understand that Krishna, just like the water going on stone, little. So every day we chant little Hare Krishna, take little prasadam, read little Bhagavad Gita, see the deities a few minutes. We may think, oh, this is nothing. I have so many problems. But gradually, you will see that your problems disappear. So whenever you see any place where the water has taken a path in the stone, you can remember this nice quality of Krishna. Then water also we use for purifying, right? We say Achman, we do all this purification. Krishna is the supreme pure. And whenever we use water for purification, we can remember that Krishna will remove everything from our mind and our heart that we find disturbing, isn't it? I mean, we have this idea, I will be such and such person, I will be very good, I will be very kind, I will be very truthful, I will be very generous, but maybe we are not always like that. And then we're like, oh, why did I behave like this? But Krishna is purifying, and he will remove those desires, he will remove those habits, he will remove those behaviors. And whenever we use water for purification in our rituals, we can remember this about Krishna. Then music is, there's music in water. Water is very musical. Again, if you think of a river or a small stream, and it is, if you've sat in a quiet place by a stream, it's making music, yeah? This sound of the music. In the Singapore airport, they have inside waterfalls, and you hear this very pleasant sound. When Krishna was going to fight with Kali, a serpent, so he jumped in the water, and he was hitting the water. And our acharyas say, when he was doing that, he was using the water like a musical instrument. And he was actually making music. When Krishna went to the Gurukula, he learned how to play musical instruments with water, where you take different containers, you fill them different amounts. And then you have a name for this, huh? What? Jala Tanan. Jala Tanan. I got this right? Jala Tanan. So he was doing this Jala Tanan. And also, he learned how to play musical instruments under the water. I don't know, what is that? We will have to someday see, we will make a Gurukul where we will find this out. Do you know how to do this? Mermaid. Mermaid music, I don't know. So whenever we hear the music of the water.
Two sharks fighting, husband shark and wife shark, they cross each other, make some sound.
Oh, that is sound. We are coming there. We are not there yet. But whenever you hear the music from water, whenever you hear water making a pleasing sound, fountain, yes, you can remember how Krishna is the supreme musician. The waves of the sea, yes. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yes, the running river, yes.
What Krishna is find it very interesting, the way rain drips on different surfaces.
Ah, the sound of the rain dripping on different surfaces, yes. In the rainy season. And you can remember.
Especially with the roofing is of different nature.
Oh, yes, and the sound on the roof. And then you can remember Krishna is playing his flute. Yes, I'm sure he can play other instruments also.
When rain pours on the ground, we hear some sound.
Yes, yes, and when it pours on different kinds of ground, you hear different sounds. And whenever we hear this, we can remember, Krishna is a musician also. And he learned this in the Gurukula, how to make music from water, and now he is doing it with the ocean, with the river, and with the rain. And then it's very interesting about water. We say water has no color, but yet we see water is blue, and it has different colors. So Krishna is also understood as Nirgun and Sagun. And we can remember, just like the water, it has no color, but yet it has so many colors. So Krishna also is like this. Then the ocean and any deep water, it's a little secretive. You go to the beach, you are looking at the ocean, you just see the waves. But actually, under the water, there's a whole world. You know, so many fish, so many coral, so many, you have seen, I'm sure, you've all seen films. Yeah, going underwater. Deep sea diving. Maybe some of you have gone with snorkel. You do that here or no? You do here or not? Yeah, but have you ever done yourself? Yeah. I was staying for some time in Hawaii, very popular. Everybody does. Yes, completely. So just like that, you know, Krishna is very secretive. Actually, it seems like there's nothing, but if you look closely, within Krishna there's a whole world.
All the mountains are under the sea.
Yes, exactly. It's amazing, isn't it? And then, of course, we have the taste of water. So Krishna specifically says he is the taste of water, and everybody is drinking some water during the day. Yeah? And Prabhupada says this taste of water, it cannot be manufactured. No, maybe the humans, they can manufacture so many things, but this taste of pure water, and you can tell if water is not pure, it doesn't taste so nice. Yeah? There's this certain refreshing taste, and Krishna says that I am. Or Prabhupada says any liquid thing you take, you can understand this taste is Krishna. Even Prabhupada said if someone is drinking alcohol, you can tell them. You try to appreciate Krishna in the taste of the alcohol, and if they do that, eventually one day they will be saintly. We are not advising drinking alcohol, but if you know somebody who already is drinking alcohol, you can say, find Krishna in the taste of your wine.
Manufacturer of all. He's the manufacturer of all.
Yes. Then water also increases the volume of other liquids and takes the shapes of the container. That is a very interesting one. Yes, very humble. Yes, very humble. That is very nice. I like that one. How water takes the shapes of any container. And Lord Kapila says in the 3rd canto that the Lord will appear in whatever form we worship him. You know, when Krishna married 16,100 wives, please do not try this at home.
Not possible.
Please do not try. 16,100, too much. Even the Muslims, they limit to 4, yeah? Anyway, when Krishna married 16,100 queens, he had a wedding all at the same time. If you can do that, then that's okay. So each wife, she's thinking, only I am marrying Krishna. That's why he did it. No. He had 16,100 weddings, no saving any money. But each wife, she was thinking, here's Krishna as I like to see him. And the Acharyas explain that Krishna looked a little different, acted a little different for each wife. You know, in this world, when we get married, we are thinking, I will make my husband, I will make my wife what I like. Doesn't work. I'll just tell you right now, if you're not already married, please do not try this, because it doesn't work. Your husband, your wife will be who they are. You will not make them something else. But Krishna, because he's everything, he becomes exactly what each devotee loves. What is perfect for each devotee. So when we see that, I pour water from this container into this container, we can remember this quality of Krishna. And then water also makes the amount of other liquids increase. If you have some juice, you add water, it becomes increased. So when we add Krishna to anything, it makes it more. So I was thinking of water in terms of Krishna's quality of fame, that the big bodies of water on this planet are very, very famous. Water also makes me think of Krishna's pastimes. Just like earth, I thought of Krishna's abode, water of Krishna's pastimes. And the reason for that is that water is associated with play and vacation. If people want to go on vacation for leisure, they often like to go to a place with water, or maybe snow. But there's some attraction of being by water. Yes, and the nature of lila. So I wondered if you could tell me any lila that is associated with water. So many.
Jamuna used to go to Jamuna.
Jamuna.
Used to go visit Jamuna with the gopis.
I used to visit the Yamuna with the gopis, with the cowherd boys also, and the cows also, not only gopis. Akalia.
Krishna steals the dresses of the gopis when they were there.
Oh, Krishna's stealing Pastaharan Leela, yeah. Bad boy, huh? We will have to report him to Nanda Maharaj. Huh? He was corrected.
No, he corrected the gopis.
He corrected the gopis that they should not go in. Yeah, yeah. Lord Chaitanya in the Ganga. Very nice. Some more. Water sports. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did many water sports. Also Krishna. Some other pastimes with water. Radhakund, Shamakund. Very nice. There's so many. Some more. Huh? When Nanda Maharaj went in the Yamuna too early, and then he was pulled down to Varuna's kingdom. Some other. Oh. Krishna is crying when Mother Yasoda is chasing him and water is coming from his eyes. Very nice. Whenever you see children crying, you remember Krishna. This is very good because many times we are having a Shastra class, yes, and some baby starts crying. And everybody just becomes disturbed. Why is that baby crying? Take the baby out of here. You think, oh, Krishna's also crying. He is seeing everybody as in ecstasy. But at least you can remember Krishna's also crying. Mother Yasoda is chasing him. When you hear some baby crying. Some other pastimes with water. Vasudev carrying Krishna across the Yamuna. Some other ones. Huh? First pastime, yes. Matsya Avatar in the water. Saptarishis in the boat. Somebody else. Yes, what?
Radha, she comes so she jumps into the Yamuna.
Who?
Radha, when Krishna.
Oh, you are reading Lalita Madhava. Some other pastime. Oh, very nice. Lord Rama making the bridge over the ocean. Very nice.
Yeah, from the water.
Oh, wonderful. When Krishna and Balaram went in the water to get Sandipani Muni's son. That's wonderful. I have taught this many, many times. I don't think anyone ever said this. They never said the crying either. Okay, some more with water. He's always holding the conch. He got that from that lila.
in Chennai. They sweat a lot. Sweating. What? But still they don't care.
Okay, fine. So what Leela of Krishna does that remind you of? So the devotees are sweating in the Rath Yatra, they don't care. This reminds you of what Leela of Krishna? Thunderstorm, but I don't think they were sweating. But this is good also, Indra's deluge, but the sweating, I want to know, that's very good.
Wrestling match.
Okay, Balaram pulling the Yamuna River, and they were sweating in the wrestling match. But when else is Krishna sweating? What? In Kurukshetra. Okay. This.
Pardon me, was anyway depicted that Krishna was sweating?
Oh yes.
They were sweating, he did it effortlessly.
I mean, this is so interesting, what you are saying, because we know the Devas do not sweat. Yes? Their feet do not touch the ground. They do not sweat. They do not use the toilet. And their clothes do not get dirty. So, but Krishna has not a Leela. When Krishna is coming here, not Deva Leela, not a Leela. And so we find Mother Yasoda is sweating, Krishna is sweating, and Krishna's clothes are getting dusty, and his feet are leaving impressions on the earth. So it's very interesting that you're bringing this up, because you know Damayanti, when she was trying to pick out her husband from the demigods, she saw only he was sweating. The other ones, the demigods, were not sweating. But we find Krishna and the gopis, Mother Yasoda, they're all sweating. But this sweat, they say it looks like pearls. It is not troublesome. And now I will tell you something, a completely different story. This has nothing to do with this class, but made me think of this. So the first time that I met Srila Prabhupada, he was sitting on a cushion, he was sitting like this. And actually, first time I saw him was on the Vyasa-san, so this was later the same day. And when he was sitting like this, he had his dhoti was up here. So you could see his leg and you could see both of his feet. And I remember looking at his feet and his leg and thinking, looks like babies. Looks like babies. So I remember this, but just very, very recently, like maybe 1 month ago, I was thinking about this again. Because I was in Vrindavan, every day I was taking long walks, and my feet would get very dirty, and they would get cracked, you know? I would have to take stone and rub my feet. And I was thinking, Srila Prabhupada, he walked every day. 1.5 hours. He was taking walk, and very fast. If you are walking every day very fast, your feet do not look like that. Not possible. If you are walking every day very fast, 1.5 hours, guarantee your feet are rubbing on the shoes, and they are going to get cracks, and they are going to get hard spots. So my son-in-law's father, Shruti Kirti, was Prabhupada's personal servant for 2.5 years. So I wrote him, and I said, I remember seeing Prabhupada's feet like babies, but you were every day massaging his feet. I said, what were they like? He said, no hard spots anywhere. Not one crack, not one hard spot. And I thought, this is physically impossible. That is only if you are sitting all day. Not possible. And then I remembered also, one of my god sisters told me a story that for one walk in the morning in England, it was very muddy. There's a lot of rain, often very muddy. And all the devotee shoes were covered with mud. And so she was thinking, after the walk, I will clean Prabhupada's shoes. But there was no mud on Prabhupada's shoes at all. All the other devotee shoes, they had mud, and Prabhupada's were completely clean. And another story I just heard from, I think it was Guru Das, he said, again, this was when Prabhupada was walking outside, and he saw on the path there was this big slug. You know what a slug is? It's like a snail, but it has no shell. And he saw it on the path, and he thought, oh, Prabhupada's foot is going to crush this slug and kill it. He was thinking this very fast. He didn't have time to do anything. And he saw Prabhupada's shoe came down on the slug. And when Prabhupada's foot lifted, the slug was not damaged. And the ground, there was no imprint. So my own conclusion is Srila Prabhupada did not walk on the ground at all. He must have not walked on the ground. Otherwise, these things are not possible. It's not possible. Someone is walking very fast 1.5 hours a day, and feet are like little babies. And shoes do not get dirty, and they do not leave a mark. It's not possible. So I don't think Srila Prabhupada's feet touched the ground. But anyway, Krishna's feet, that was separate. But Krishna's feet did touch the ground. He would leave the footprints, and he also would sweat. But I still haven't heard about a really amazing thing about the Lord sweating. Okay, so anybody has heard about Mahavishnu? So that is his sweat. And that is living water. That water is spiritual water. It's alive. So when he sweats, the water that comes is a whole ocean. Thank you, Krishna, I don't sweat an ocean. But he is sweating an ocean, and it is alive. So yes, when we are seeing, it is very hot, we are dancing in the Rath Yatra, and we are very sweaty, then we can remember Krishna. Okay, of course, Krishna is taking many, many times every day. He's getting bath. He's swimming in Yamuna. He's swimming in so many kunds. I'm like, okay. Oh, and also Vishnu is lying in the water on Adisesha. Yeah, and a serpent. Actually, this picture makes it difficult for us to do book distribution in most of Africa. So the BBT has to, they cannot have a picture on the cover of the book with a snake, and nobody in Africa will purchase. So this idea that Balaram is a snake, and the Lord is lying on the snake, this is culturally, they have to be chanting for a while before they can understand this. But this concept of spiritual snakes, very interesting in the water. All right, now we're going to go to fire. Are you ready for fire?
Yes.
Everybody's ready for fire. So we're going to look.
Some time for the mind also, because that is what.
I've never done that before. It's on my list, but I've never actually done it. Want me to experiment? We'll try. I'm speaking so slowly, so it also makes it a little difficult, but I will try. Already it's 1 o'clock and I've only done 2. So we'll go to fire. On fire, we're looking separately at heat and light. So I wanted to separate the qualities of fire into the qualities of heat and the qualities of light. So first, heat. So heat is invisible. Right? There's heat in this room, but I cannot see it. And that reminds me, Sutre Managana Iva, that Krishna is like the thread under the pearls. You can see there must be thread because pearls are not falling, but you do not see the thread. So we can feel the heat, but we do not see the heat. And again, we come to powerful, which each of these we can think of the power of heat, right? To cook our food. Again, heat can destroy everything. Gets too hot, everything finished. With our bodies, what is the main thing we need for our bodies? Air, right? And after that, what do we need?
Fire for digesting the food.
Yeah, but after air, what's the next thing we need to be alive? Warm, we need temperature. If it's too hot, too cold, we will die. We need temperature more than we need water. So heat is very, very powerful. And heat is flowing and moving. It is heat that causes the evaporation of the water and the rain and moves the air around. You know how the birds, they like to find when the heat is rising, they will catch the updraft. When you see the birds just gliding without moving their wings, you see? Where's the other little boy? Where's the little boy over there? Have you seen the birds when they are just holding their wings and not moving? Yes, you. Have you seen, do you speak English? Do you know English? Oh, you're going to come all the way here and see me? Hi, Krishna, to you too. What are those beautiful eyes? Remind me of Krishna just with your eyes. So, have you ever seen birds? They are not flapping, they are just doing this. I cannot do that. And they are just like gliding like this. Have you seen? It's very good. Do you know how they do that? How do they do this? They're not flapping, they're just gliding. Do you know how? Yes, but how do they do that? How do they stay up? Do you know? No. Do you know?
Yeah, you can do that.
No. Thank you for coming up. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So they do this with the warm air. Now I'm telling you the answer, so next time somebody asks you, you'll know. But now he's not paying any attention. So the warm air, it rises, and as the warm air rises, the birds, they catch this warm air. And then they also go up, 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 up with the air. Because warm air goes up. So heat is moving the air up. It's moving the water cycle. And in the same way, whenever we see how the heat is, like you see maybe if it's a little cold out and you see water, you'll see the steam rising from the water. Whenever we notice the heat moving things, we can remember Krishna is moving everything. He is the one changing the seasons, moving everything around. And then heat also makes things very excited. That's how we cook. Did you know that? Did you know that's how we cook? So when you put your food on top of the fire, what happens is the fire makes all the little molecules of the food very excited. They start jumping around. That's why when you put water on the fire, the water starts going in the air, because the little molecules get so excited that they start jumping out of the pot. Sorry, she didn't get to my whole biography, but I was a teacher of children for 27 years. Then you learn all these things, you know. So that's what the heat does. It makes all the little bits of water, they get all excited. So whenever we see water boiling, we can think about dancing in the kirtan. And as soon as you are in connection with Krishna, immediately, you also want to jump. Just like the water with the heat. Right? And also when we are cooking, the heat destroys these structures and creates new structures. Right? Like if you've ever eaten raw cauliflower or raw broccoli, it's very crunchy. Yes? Or raw carrot, uncooked carrot. But when you cook it, the structure changes. Even the shape can change. If you are cooking the carrot, it becomes carrot soup. Yes? Or broccoli is really like, don't overcook broccoli, because then it just becomes little bits, yeah? You've seen? Someone cooks broccoli too much, and then you just have the little tiny green things. It makes into little pieces. So this is the effect of heat. It changes, it softens things, it changes the structures, restructure it. And when you see this in the cooking, you can remember that when we are in touch with Krishna, He is reforming us. Just like we use this word if someone is, criminal, they become reformed. But we are all, my dear friends, a little bit criminal. We have been rebellious against God. And when we are in touch with Him, we become reformed. We become softened into a new shape. And then, of course, the fire of digestion, I think you mentioned. Krishna is the fire of digestion. Of course, that is an interesting fire. It is a chemical fire. Right? It is not like a flame. But there is actually a fire in our stomach. And that is why our bodies are warm. We have a fire in our stomach. So we were saying before, we eat rice, we eat sabji, and it becomes, a finger. It becomes hair. It becomes a mouth. So Krishna is doing that. Whenever we are eating food, it is very good actually, whenever we are eating, to meditate how Krishna is the fire of digestion. If you are just eating and your digestion is not good, it will not work. Just putting the food in your mouth, chewing. You have to have proper digestive fire. But that is Krishna. And this power that we eat, and it becomes a foot. That is amazing, isn't it? Yeah? This hair, yesterday, it was broccoli. And now it is hair.
The womb, the child.
Ah, that is amazing. In the mother's womb, how the mother is eating and becomes a whole human body. I was seeing just a few days ago, I think when I was in Mayapur Dham, there was one woman with 2 young children. And I was thinking the female body has mystic power. It's mystic power that you can make babies. It's actually inconceivable, Grow a human inside of you, a new little human. So so Krishna is doing this. The mother is she doesn't know how it is happening. She is simply eating her broccoli and it becomes a whole. I remember reading one article by one man. He said he was atheist until he saw his wife give birth. And after that he said, only God. This is miracle. This is absolute miracle. Must be God. Okay, then we can also think about how the sun burns things. And remember, Krishna is burning our ignorance. He's burning our attachment. And of course, we associate the heat of fire with life. If something is alive, it is warm. If something is dead, it is cold. So Krishna says specifically in the Bhagavad Gita, I am the heat in fire. So Krishna also is the life of lives. He is the ultimate life. He says, I am the life of all that lives. And whenever we experience the warmth in the air, the warmth in our own body, the warmth we are touching someone else's body, the warmth in their body, we can remember this heat in fire, it is Krishna. And it is actually essential life. So if you stay in South India, you will not experience this. But I was in North India and it was very cold before I came here. It was very cold, like maybe 8 or 9 degrees. And so to get out of bed in the morning was a little difficult. But I was thinking Krishna is the heat and fire and He is everywhere. So I will just meditate. Krishna is in this room and He is the heat and fire. And then I did not feel cold. It was very interesting. We also associate warmth with love. Isn't it? At least in English, we say, very warm person. Or you give a warm hug. Huh?
Warm welcome. Yes.
Warm welcome. Yes, warm greeting. So we very much associate warmth, not only with life, but with love. Warm regards, yes. Warm regards. It's funny how I never thought of this. Warm regards. You're reading, warm regards. But this can remind us, Krishna is the heat in fire and He is love. He not only has love, He is love. And warmth is comforting, unless it's May. And then we can think, Krishna is the life and He is love. So now we're going to go on to light, because we're talking about fire, remember? So we talked about the warmth of fire. Now we're going to talk about the light of fire. So of course, light gives us knowledge. With light, we can see. And we gain a lot of knowledge by seeing. Of course, whenever we see anything, we turn on the light. Immediately we can remember Krishna is knowledge. Krishna is the one, Jnana Dipena Bhashvata. Krishna is the one who gives us, revelation, understanding. And in fact, light is very much associated with spirituality in every religion and every spiritual culture. In fact, we have the word in English, enlightenment. That when you attain pure Krishna consciousness, you are enlightened. So this theme of light being connected with spiritual realization, being connected with knowledge is very prevalent. And when you turn on the light in your house in the morning or when the sun goes down, you turn on the light, immediately you can think, oh, Krishna is giving me knowledge. Actually, Krishna says he is the light of the sun, the light of the moon, and he says he is the light in all luminous objects. So that means even the light of these lamps or the light in your phone, the light on your computer screen, all of that you can remember, this is Krishna. Also, we talked about a warm welcome, but we also have light as a welcome. If some guest is coming to your house, you turn on your lights. In America, there's a group of hotels, and their motto is, we leave the lights on for you. Some guest is coming, you turn on the lights. And in every culture, before that, we will say, whenever we see lights, we can think how Krishna is welcoming us. He wants us. We are the ones staying away. He is welcoming. There's a nice story in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita when Gopakumar finally comes to Vaikuntha. He wanders all over the universe. Then he comes to Vaikuntha. And Lord Vishnu says to him, lifetime after lifetime, I was waiting for you to come home. He said, in each of your births, you were not doing anything spiritual. You were not taking the holy name, nothing. And he said, Lord Vishnu said, I was dancing like a fool, thinking, when will he come home? When will he come home? When will he come home? He said, and I was thinking, how can I bring him home without violating the laws of karma? So I arranged for you, Vishnu says to Gopakumar, to take birth in Govardhan. Which also tells you, sometimes very sinful people take birth in holy places as mercy. But it was very interesting because the Lord was welcoming him. We may think Krishna is pushing me away. I am trying so hard, he is keeping me away. But no, he is welcoming. So whenever we see a light for welcome, when you turn on a light to welcome a guest, or you go someplace and there is a welcome light, you can remember Krishna is the light and he is welcoming me. And then in every culture, there is festivals that are related with light. Yes, we just had New Year's, Diwali, Christmas, Damodar month. Every culture, doesn't matter whether it's India or China or Peru, and doesn't matter what is the religion, every country, every culture, they have festivals connected with light. Even some national holiday, and they will throw fireworks, yes? So whenever we are seeing at some festival that people are using light, we can remember that in the spiritual world, every day is festival.
They put color lights. You say in Vaikuntha there is no sun. Already is a natural stone. They eliminate light.
Yes, I think even the higher planets like that. But in the spiritual world, the different colors of stone, they have their own lights. And they are putting out different colors of lights. And then we can think of the light of the moon. Again, it is very soothing, very cooling, like we were talking about soothing effect of water. And when we see the light of the moon, we can again remember that Krishna is very soothing. That it takes away our anxieties, takes away our distress, and fills us with peace. Of course, the moon is also associated with romance. And we can remember Krishna is the most romantic. You see here. Yes. So of course this is a very radical idea for most of the world to understand, that God is the most romantic. There have been some of the mystics in Islam and Christianity and Judaism, and they could understand. But generally, this is something really only known to the followers of the Vedas. That God is also romantic, that He has His Lakshmi Narayan, Sitaram, Radha Krishna, right? This is, it's there in the other traditions of the world, but not so known, not so talked about, not so propagated. In fact, St. John of the Cross, he was tortured because he said, if there's romance in the world, it must be in God. And the church tortured him. Oh, this is blasphemy. But the moon can remind us that Krishna has his moon dance. Krishna has his Ras Leela. Huh? All right, and then the light also, if someone is alive, they have a light coming from their eyes. Huh? Some effulgence, yes. Some effulgence. So I read a story many years ago. There was one man, his job was he had to capture animals that were eating livestock in America for the government. So like the mountain lions, the coyotes, the wolves, if they were eating people's cows and sheep and goats, so he would capture these animals and he would make these traps to capture them. So he said one time he was going to check on the traps and he had his 10-year-old son with him. And as they came to a trap, there was a mountain lion and it was just right in front of their eyes, it died. And the 10-year-old boy looked at his father and he said, "Daddy, why did the light go out of his eyes?" And the man said from that day, he quit his job and he became a conservationist. He became actually protecting these predator animals. But the point is, when we are alive, our eyes are full of light. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he has one very beautiful song, Prema Pradipa Aratik Tomara. I will offer you Artik with the light of love. I will not light a lamp with ghee and matches, but I will light the lamp of my eyes. And with my eyes, just like the Artik lamp, you are circling the form. With my eyes, I will be circling your form and offering you arati like this. So whenever we see light in someone's eyes, recently I was with a young couple. They are going to get married in a few days. I don't know, I will be there or not. But anyway, when I saw this couple and they looked at each other, you understand, yes? So this light in the eyes, it reminds us of Krishna. Now Krishna is the light in everything, and Krishna is this light of love and caring. Whenever we see our little child, you give them some present and we say, the eyes light up, right? We say, in English we have this expression. You give them some toy, they go, whoo, and you see their eyes light up. In fact, we enjoy this. This is why we give gifts to people, honestly. This is why husband is bringing his wife jewelry and the wife is cooking the favorite food, and we bring the gifts to people we love, because immediately their eyes light up with happiness. So when we see this, we can remember Krishna is the light and Krishna is love. So I thought that fire, especially the light of fire, reminds us of Krishna's opulence of beauty. Because of course you cannot see beauty without light, but also because Krishna is the source of all colors. And because Krishna's form is effulgent. It is nicely explained by Lord Shiva in the 4th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam that the Lord's form is glistening. It is shining. The Lord's clothes are shining. The Lord's form is shining. And it's glittering like a mirror, or glowing, or brilliant. And whenever we see the different forms in the world with light, we can remember Krishna's perfect form. Okay, Leelas related to fire, to heat, to light, to fire. Forest fire. There were 2 forest fires. Anybody remember the 2 different forest fires?
Krishna playing with the bus.
Yes! Right after Balaram killed Pralambasura. So you remember what happened after that? No? So after Krishna killed Pralambasura, the boys were so excited. They were having so much fun. They didn't notice the animals wandering away. And there it says in the Bhagavatam, they were not only cows, what other animals were there? Not only cows. Anybody know what other animals were there? Buffaloes and goats. Goats and buffaloes. So they were all wandering away, and the boys didn't notice. And the cows, goats, and buffaloes, they crossed the Yamuna, and they went to the Ichikitavan forest. And there they got surrounded by a forest fire. And they were crying. And the boys followed them and rescued them, and then fire came again, stronger. And then what did Krishna do?
He just gave her all that.
Oh, first what did he do? Can you move? Otherwise she cannot see. So first he did what? Well, they were a little worried. But the acharyas say that Krishna was going to swallow the fire, and he didn't want the cowherd boys to try to save him. If you see somebody swallowing fire, you love them, you may try to stop them. But Krishna didn't want the boys to stop him, so he didn't want them to see. But the boys were thinking, oh, Krishna has some special mantra or some special herbs, it has to be secret. So he doesn't want us to see because he has to keep the secret. That's what they were thinking. And then he swallowed the fire, and the acharyas say that just like many people, they like to eat chilies, yeah? I don't like. But many people, they like. Yes, I have one friend, after he finishes his meal, he has chili and salt, and he takes the chili, puts in the salt, and eats. So many people, huh? Must be. Actually, he's American, but must be, past life or something. So many people, they like chilies. So Krishna also sometimes likes actual fire. Not just chilies and ginger and pepper, but actual, he wanted to have some fire. Actually, of course, when we have a fire yagya, the fire is the tongue. Yeah, the Lord is eating like that.
There is a shop in Bangalore, they sell pond. Literally, they put fire in the pond. You see, when you also open the mouth, you put the fire inside the mouth.
Oh my God.
Pond.
Like wild. So also some of our acharyas say that when Krishna went to eat the fire became scared and it turned into a cooling lassi. It changed. It thought Krishna will be angry with me. It turned into lassi. So different acharyas say different things. Okay, that was one fire that Krishna swallowed. Where's the other fire that Krishna swallowed? One more fire. Yes, after Kaliya pastime. After the Kaliya pastime. Interesting, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says the forest fire where the cows were stuck in the sugar cane, in the Ichikitavan forest, he said this is the fire of Adharma. And Krishna swallows the fire of Adharma. The fire on the bank of the Yamuna, after the subduing of Kaliya, Bhaktivinoda says this is fighting between religious people. So we are very sorry to tell you that sometimes even between the devotees there is fighting. I'm sorry to have to tell you this. If you have not yet experienced it, I hope you never do, but probably you will. That even sometimes between the devotees there is some fighting. But this is a fire that Krishna also swallows. Okay, another pastime with relationship to fire or heat or light. Oh, Hanuman. Burning Lanka. Very nice. Any more? Huh? Hanuman swallowing the sun. Oh! Sita entering the fire. I don't like that. I don't want to hear that pastime. Oh, the Guru putting out the fire of the material world with the rain of mercy.
When she went to stop the stove,
That's how the Leela started.
Not the fire. When she says,
Oh, because she had the milk on the fire with Damodar. That's so clever. That's very nice. Anytime you're cooking, you can remember that, but don't let your own milk boil over. You know why the milk boiled over? Because the milk was thinking, Krishna's belly is unlimited, Mother Yasoda's breast milk is unlimited. I will not get any turn to feed Krishna. Just imagine you are waiting in the queue for prasadam, and the person ahead of you has unlimited belly, and the server has unlimited pot. And you're thinking, I will be in this queue for the rest of eternity. It will never finish. So the milk on the stove was thinking like this. I also want to serve Krishna. So it got very excited and it jumped out of the pot. It's alive, you know. Any more pastimes in relationship to fire? Yes? The Pandavas with the house of lac. Yes, yes, very good. Any others? Oh, in the universal form, the Vishwarupa, fire was coming out of his mouth. Yes. Agni Dev with the Kandava forest. Very nice. Lord Shiva with the fire. Okay, there's an interesting Leela in a battle between Shiva and Krishna that has to do with heat and cold. Ah, yes. And it says in Bhagavatam, if you remember this Leela, you will defeat your enemies. So if you are having any kind of battle, you remember this Leela, Shiva Dwara, Narayana Dwara, and you will come out victorious. Okay, so now we're going, what?
Fiery speech. Talk like fire.
Words come out like fire. Hot words. Shishupal, yeah, okay. So now we're going to go to air. Now we're going to go to air. So let's look at the qualities of air. So we talked about how heat was subtle, but air is even more subtle. I mean, I can feel the air only because the fan is turning. If the fan is stopped turning, I don't feel, I can feel the heat. I cannot see the heat, but I can feel it. But with the air, if it is not moving, I cannot feel it at all. I have no way of knowing that there is air. So this is Krishna's very, very subtle, Shukshma. He's very, very subtle. He is everywhere. He's everywhere, but we are not able to perceive him. Now it's interesting that there's also air pressure, and I should learn this, but I never remember to learn it. I only know it in inches, and I should learn this in centimeters. I'm a very bad teacher. So I know there is 14 pounds of pressure for every square inch. So I don't know what that is in kilos and centimeters. Do we have any mathematicians here? 14 pounds is how many kilos? Huh? Yeah, about 6 kilos. And then a square inch is about how many square centimeters? 2.54. Okay, so about two and a half square centimeters, and there's 6 kilos. So I would think about this. Okay, where's my children again? Are they here? So I want you to look at your arm and just think of a little square. Can you just take your finger and draw a little square on your arm, about 2.5 centimeters each, and on that square there is 6 kilos of air pressing. Whole body. But we don't feel this. You become aware when you go in an airplane or on a mountain, the change in the air pressure. But normally we are being pressed. Just think about this for a minute. We are being pressed all the time, all over our bodies with air. But we do not feel it. And this air pressure, it is keeping all of our bodily organs and everything functioning. Without this air pressure, it would be very difficult. We wouldn't be able to live. So Krishna also, he is keeping everything together. But we are not aware of it. We are just going through our lives and not thinking there's 6 kilos here, 6 kilos all over my body. So the same way we are just going our lives, not understanding how Krishna is maintaining you. Okay, let us become aware of our breathing. So this again, usually we are not aware. If we can become aware. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that he is joining with the air of life and with all the different kinds of prana in the body. And I'm sure you know that if you have some difficulty in your life, if you stop and just breathe very deeply for like 2 minutes, and there's different kinds of pranayama you can do. You know, there's what's called 4 square breathing. You breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. And different kinds of breathing you can do. It changes the mind. We're all aware of this, yeah?
Before we form one class, one teacher told us, just take a breathe and chant Hare Krishna Madhava, again we don't.
Interesting, yes. But there's in the yoga tradition, we know that how we breathe affects the mind. Yes? And definitely. And any time that you're forgetting Krishna, it's very easy. Always the breath is there. Just have some awareness. And you can do this even you are doing things in life. Become aware. Ah, there is Krishna in the air. Actually, Arjuna says to Krishna in the 11th chapter, you are air. He says, you are air. And Krishna says, I am there with the breath. And when we become aware of the breath and slow down the breath, we get peace and we get clarity. Our mind becomes very clear and very peaceful. Now, air is visible by its effects. Yeah? The blowing air, like if you want to dry your clothes, you put in the air, you'll see it moving. You see the trees are moving. So we don't see the air, but we see the effects of air. In a similar way, we may not see Krishna, but we see the effects. We see the hand of God in the world. We don't see the hand, but we see how everything's moving. And whenever you see the trees, I mean, one thing here, you get so much wind from the ocean, yeah? So whenever you are seeing the wind in the trees, then immediately you remember how Krishna's effect is there. Now, the air can move things that appear to be much more substantial than themselves, just like water can wear away stone. So if you have very strong wind, like a cyclone, or in America, we have very small cyclones called tornadoes. They're very, very small. Like the big cyclones go up to maybe 150 miles an hour, or whatever that is in kilometers. But the small ones go to 300. They are 3 times more powerful than the big cyclones, but they are in a small area. They may be only as wide as this room, these tornadoes. And it's just air. It's only air.
150 kilometers per hour. It took off one of the vehicle and came from here.
Yes, it picks up a car and moves it. So just imagine with a tornado, 3 times, 2-3 times as powerful as a cyclone.
That should be how much kilometer speed, I don't know.
But we can think that Krishna, we may not see him, we may not hear him, but he is so powerful, these strong windstorms, they can take little piece of wood and put it through metal. You know, they have so much power, and in fact, the air is very associated with strength, particularly. Now, it's mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita that the air carries other things without mixing with them. So the air carries the smell of roses or the smell of sewage, but the air remains as the air. And in the same way, Krishna is in everyone's heart, but he doesn't become contaminated. He remains in his own identity. Now we know that air is our most essential physiological need. So let's say we have a big lunch and you have, not today because it's Ekadasi, but let's say on another day, so you had all of your favorite food, maybe you had masala dosas and then you had curd rice, and you think of all your favorite foods, huge feast, everything, and your good friends are there, the family members that you love are there. If some family members you don't like, they are not there. So family members you love are there, good friends are there, maybe there's also entertainment, there's musicians, and very beautiful room, table is made of marble, artwork on the walls, and there's many, many servants. They are serving you on silver trays, but there is no air. So just like without air, everything else is useless. Completely useless. You don't have air, it doesn't matter what other happiness you have, anything you have, without air, useless. So in the same way, without Krishna, everything useless. And you can also remember this, just you notice your breathing. Remember, without Krishna, useless. I can be richest person, most famous, most beautiful, most everything. But without air, no value. So without Krishna, life is no value. And the air, we were saying, is visible by its effects, but it makes everything dance. Yes, Kavi Kanapur, our great Acharya, he says that the wind is the dance teacher for the trees and the plants. And of course, if you go to the ocean, the wind is making the waves, and the wind is making patterns in the sand. So when you see the patterns in the sand and the waves and the trees, remember how Krishna and his associates are always dancing. So air focuses us on Krishna's opulence of strength. Of course, particularly air is associated with strength, Hanuman, right? Vayu, particularly Bhim, also with Vayu. So Madhvacharya. So although all of the elements have strength, earth, water, fire, all have strength, particularly the air is associated with Krishna's power. Okay, pastimes related to air. Huh? Trinavarta, yeah, Trinavarta, yes. Krishna playing his flute. Very nice. What else? Oh, Krishna whistling and humming. Some other pastimes with air. Music from Krishna's flute. Very nice. What other pastimes with air? Oh! This is such a good audience. You're all thinking of things nobody, I have taught this, I don't know, like 40 times, and nobody has ever said that. When Arjuna says, Chanchal Himana Krishna, I said, you cannot catch the mind, it is like the wind. Ah, very nice. Some other pastimes with air. Ah, the Gita is talking about 5 kinds of air in the body. Very nice. Some more. Oh, Vayoratapi Manaso Manipungavanam. Very nice. She's remembering Brahma Samhita. That even if you travel at the speed of the mind or the speed of Vayu, you cannot get the tip of the toe of Krishna. That reminds me, there's a nice verse written by Rupa Goswami. Yadyapi samadhishu vidarapasyati natava nakagra marichim. He said, even Lord Brahma in deep samadhi, he cannot see the tip of your toe. He said, but I am hoping, Durgata gata navigati, I am hoping that you will make the impossible possible, and I will see the tip of your toe. Of course, we need air to digest food for the fire, but I'm thinking about lila. What is lila? Lila, with air. Huh? Very nice, very nice. So Mahavishnu, from his breathing, all the universe is coming from his breathing. From my breathing, just some little bacteria comes, but from his breathing. Okay, so what does this mean? We are in this universe, and this whole universe is riding on Krishna's breath. Like you're on an airplane, it's riding on the wind, you know? The whole universe. It's floating on the breath. Now he's breathing in, you know. Lord Brahma's 51 years old now. You can't have a party for him here until he's 60 though. On your sign, only 60 and 80. 60, yeah. When Brahma's 60, then he can come to Chennai, ISKCON Chennai, and have a party. But now he's 51, so Lord Vishnu is breathing in. So now we're being pulled back on the breath. Anything else? With air, there's more. Huh? A purifier's eye in the wind. Yes. Very nice. But Leela, any more Leela with air? Oh. What is this with the Ramayana? It's so intense, huh? Ravana cutting Jatayu's wings. Oh. So I was in New York Temple when Prabhupada was visiting in 1976, and the devotees were doing a drama of the Ramayana. After Prabhupada left the planet, I was also one of the actors. But anyway, then I was just in the audience, and Prabhupada was sitting 2 rows ahead of me in that drama. And I remember when they had this scene, particularly I remember this scene where Ravana's pulling Sita and Jatayu comes. And Sita says to Jatayu, the devotee who played Sita, Rasikya, she's given up her body. But Prabhupada said she was the best actress in the world. And she said to Jatayu, she's like, no, you are too old and he is much stronger than you. And somehow sitting in the room with Prabhupada and hearing those words, I was not in New York, I was in the forest. The Leela became actually manifest in Prabhupada's presence. So whenever I hear the Jatayu, I remember that it was just heartbreaking. You felt like your heart was just going to have all these shattered little pieces on the floor. Some other pastime with air.
House. I take my wife to the fan or the generation. But with Krishna, now that is a secret palace. He himself is carrying it. Sudama is carrying it to pick up the way.
I have to add that to my list. Ah, so Krishna is, well, Rukmini was fanning.
But Sudama did it.
Yeah. So you're saying when you have guests come to your house, you turn on the fan. You don't use the peacock feather.
The fan goes off.
What has happened to your culture? But yeah, when Sudama visits, Krishna's fanning him. I like this. It's very nice.
Garuda's wings Samaveta.
Oh, I was waiting for someone for this one. Garuda's wings are with the Samaveta. Any more? With air. Anything with Garuda going through the air, flying through the air. Ah, and he is flying also. Hanuman is also flying too. He takes a big jump and he flies, yes.
In descriptions of Vrindavan, you get this cool breeze coming from the other.
Ah, the pollen of the lotus flower. Yes, very nice.
Mind as light as air, not very heavy stone.
Ah, have a light air. What about Hayagriva breathing out the Vedas? The Vedas are the breath.
Again from
Oh! Yes. Next time you have something in your nose, you can think, but Brahma has Varaha in his nose. That must have been very odd, yes? Must be. Did he sneeze? I don't know if he sneezed. When my daughter was 2 years old, I was taking little rest, and she had some little beads she put in her nose, you know. She wakes me up, Mata, nose. But imagine if Varaha came out, it was just a plastic bead. Huh?
Saying in village, children get cold, so honey comes out.
Okay, we're going to look, last thing, sorry, it's already 10 to 2. Another time. And I would need to prepare my mind for mind. So we're looking finally at ether or space, come. So space is very strange element. Huh? It is the main component of material reality. It is the first of the gross elements that is created. So it is the most subtle, but is the most foundational. So whenever we notice space, we can remember that Krishna is the basis of everything. Now space is completely undetectable. So air is detectable when it moves. But space I cannot detect at all. I can only detect space by the boundaries of things. So in the same way for a materialistic person, Krishna is completely undetectable. Then space doesn't mix with other things at all. I mean, the air is carrying things, but space not at all. And in fact, Krishna uses space as an example of his own detachment. When we notice space, we can think about this detachment. Now, this next quality of space is very interesting. There were about 5 years, so my husband and I have been in the Vanaprastha ashram now almost 23 years. So for 5 years, I was traveling and preaching with no home and no base at all. I had some boxes in a friend's house, but I did not have any home or any base. So I noticed something very interesting during that time. I noticed that strangers, if they will ask a question about you, they will feel comfortable to ask, where are you from? That any stranger will ask any other stranger, where are you from? They may not ask your name or what you do for your job or if you are married, but where are you from? Now, I never noticed that before. But when I had no answer, then all of a sudden I became aware that this was a very common question. And when I had no answer, maybe 1/10 of people were very disturbed. So, you know, where do you live? It would be, where are you from? Or where do you live? Where do you stay? And I say, well, I don't have a home. I am just traveling. So 9 out of 10 people, okay. But 1 out of 10 people, they could not accept this. Well, where do you stay when you're not traveling? I say, I am always traveling. No, when you are not traveling. And then I would say, which month? And then they'd say, where do you stay most often? I say, which month? Which year? It's always changing. And they just couldn't process this. And I was wondering, why is this so difficult for someone to think, here is a person who doesn't live anyplace? And I realized that the place for us defines everything. We always want to know what is something's relationship to space. Because space is the main definer of everything else. If you cannot define something in relationship to space, it's very hard to understand what it is. So in the same way, everything is defined in relationship to Krishna. Then space also defines everything, just like I have words on this paper. But they are words only because between the words there are spaces. So one of my granddaughters, when she was 3, she took all the keys off of her mother's computer. Now she is 13. She said she did that because she wanted to see what was underneath. So my son fixed the computer, but he couldn't fix the space bar. So my daughter-in-law didn't have a space bar. So when she's typing to me, all the words are together. And I could not, very difficult to understand, what is this? So space defines everything. And when we are speaking, we pause between the words. Right? If we do not pause between the words, if we just talk like this without a space between, nobody will know what's saying. So in speaking, we have this space. In music, the space between the notes, the pause between the notes. So that space in written language, in spoken language, in song, with objects, it defines everything. And if we notice the space, it's hard to notice space. But we notice space, we can remember that Krishna defines everything. Also, space is perceived very differently at different levels of consciousness. So I remember when my oldest child, my oldest son, was a baby, before he could crawl. So if I moved from one room to another, he thought I had just disappeared. Before he could move. You know, I go from one room to another, I've just disappeared, I'm gone. And he would just cry and cry and cry. But once he could move, then he did not cry because he knew this room goes to that room. So his understanding of space changed at a different level of consciousness. And if you think, you can look out the window and you can see there is a road. And this road leads to another road, and that leads to another road, to another road. And it can take you, you know, all the way up to Pakistan. Right? But if you have some little ant on the window, looking out the same window at the same road, the ant cannot understand space in the same way. So just like space is understood very differently at different levels of consciousness, so in the same way, depending on our level of consciousness, we can understand Krishna. And again, space is one element we tend not to notice at all. We'll notice the air when it's moving. We'll notice the air sometimes if we are breathing very fast or very slow. We certainly notice temperature. We notice water. We certainly notice solid objects. But space we tend to forget about completely. And in the same way, unfortunately, we tend to forget about Krishna. So, space reminds us of Krishna's opulence of renunciation. In fact, Krishna identifies space himself with renunciation. It is unaffected. It is separate. It is detached. And in fact, if you go to a place where there's a lot of space, you have a sense of what? How do you feel? What kind? Happiness, but you feel what? What kind? Be specific. Free. You feel freedom. If you're in a small space, right? But if you think when you are in a big space, if you go down to the sea and you are looking at the ocean and you just see this big space, or I don't know in this country, but in America, the advertisements for the automobiles, they usually show somebody driving in some open space. They don't usually show somebody driving in a city. You know why? Because cars are associated in people's minds with freedom. I have a car, then I can go where I want to go. Right? So they have this, they get this association of space. And if you think about even in our homes, if I have more space, I can have more things. I have more freedom. Yes? Very much space is associated with freedom, with renunciation, with detachment. Huh? And we can notice this with space, that Krishna is the most detached. So of course Krishna has some pastimes of detachment, like when he leaves Vrindavan, when he leaves the Ras Lila. Now you were talking about sound. Space is very much associated with sound. And Krishna says he is the sound in space. And Prabhupada says any sound is a reflection of the original spiritual sound. Even the sound of the fans, even the sound of the horns honking, that all of this sound that is vibrating through space is actually Krishna. And of course, therefore, space reminds us not only of Krishna's renunciation, but also Krishna's name. That Krishna's name is vibrating through space. So we will end with asking for pastimes related to space. Krishna and Arjuna's space travel, yeah? Okay, what else? What? Vamana in space, very nice. Oh. That is very nice. So Sanjaya is dictating the Bhagavad Gita to Dhritarashtra, and he's getting the message through space. Huh?
Reaching a new
Oh, very nice. Very nice, very nice.
expanding into space.
Krishna's universal form expands into space. Narada traveling. Hanuman jumping to get the sun. Vamana, we said, okay, so I'm sitting here in one place, right? And I'm trying to look at all of you, but can I look at all of you at one time? So if I'm looking here, then I can't look at anybody here. So, but when Krishna is sitting in the center of the cowherd boys, and not just turning his head, whole body. So it's like this. So that must mean he is doing something funny with space. And the doorkeeper comes. This is in the material universe on Swetadweep. The doorkeeper comes. Yes, who are you? Who am I? I am Brahma. Doorkeeper goes in. Wait here. He comes back out. Lord Vishnu wants to know which Brahma. Which Brahma? What do you mean, which Brahma? It's like if you said, who are you? I am the temple president. Which temple president are you? They say, which Brahma? Which Brahma? I am the four-headed Brahma, the father of the four Kumaras. You wait here. He goes in, says, all right, you come in. So the four-headed Lord Brahma came in and he saw, there is Vishnu, and there are thousands and thousands and millions of Lord Brahmas. And some of them have 4 heads, some have 8 heads, some have 12 heads, some have 16 heads, some have million heads, some have 10 million heads. And the Lord, they say, they all offer their obeisances with their helmets. Must have been big sound. My dear Lord, why have you called me, they said. And the Lord said, I want to know, is everything well? Do you have any problem with the demons? By your mercy, they said, everything is good. Our Lord Brahma could see all of the other Lord Brahmas, but each Lord Brahma thought, Krishna is only in my universe. So there's all these universes, and Krishna is appearing in each universe. Each Brahma thinks, Krishna has brought me to his planet in my universe. And they could not see the other Lord Brahmas, but our Lord Brahma saw all of these Lord Brahmas in one place. That is a very interesting Leela with space. How does he do that? So I hope that this has given you some way of meditation. I would suggest that every day, throughout the day, and if you forget, that's okay. Then again, just try to remember. And look around, listen, look, feel, smell. How can this remind me of Krishna? And if we do that, then we will become Krishna conscious. And once we become Krishna conscious, we will get everything that we could possibly desire, spiritual and material. So I'm going to end now.
When we see the sky, we can think of Krishna.
Everything. So I have given you dozens of ideas, but you please think of more also. You can remember some of these things, and you can remember some on your own. And please send me your good wishes that we can finish this book, because we are writing a book on all this and many, 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 many more. Many, 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 many more. And that we will make this available. We're thinking this will be a very nice book to give as a gift to people. Anybody who wants to be very much for devotees. Very Krishna-centered. but we are hoping to make it very, very beautiful with one illustration for each meditation. So please give us your good wishes that we will complete this project. So thank you very, very much. If any of you are interested in the books we already have, again, we have one book on chanting, how to chant without offense. Then we have one book of fictional story, how to attain Krishna Prema, but in the form of a story. And then we produce Raghunath Das Goswami's Manashiksha. We only have one copy of that available, and that tells you how to attain ultimately spontaneous. Aha! So all of you devotees hearing this lecture in space, my Dandavat Pranam. And you can't go to the table and buy the books, but they are on the internet, which you can also order through space.
Sometimes it gets spaced out.
Sometimes they get spaced out. That's when you forget Krishna. So thank you very much. If any of you want me to sign a book, I'm also happy to do that.
So I'd like to thank Mataji for this wonderful seminar. I never understood what this space is.